Alright, let's just face it already. 2019 has been a bit of hit or miss with a lot of things related to television, movies, and games. I mean, we have one of the most beloved and popular TV shows of all time break like a toddler with a train set. Then the MCU had a pretty great run this year, if you don't count this floppy dildo of a film. Then immediately after that, Star vs. The Force of Evil had an ending that made me want to fist the rhino. Then Minecraft was given the respect it deserves, and Overwatch still exists for some reason. Toy Story 4 was like a warm knitted sweater, you liked it but you didn't really want it in the first place, and unless we talk about Borderlands 3's press, the better. But amidst all of this, I was mainly disappointed in the TV aspect as opposed to how I felt about films last year, as we not only got some god-awful finales, in the animation scene, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney have unveiled their shows that will go into the 2020s. If I'm being honest, I'm not really that hopeful. For the 2010s, we had Adventure Time, Regular Show, Gravity Falls, Wonder Over Yonder, Teen Titans Go, wait a minute, and for the 2020s, we have Victor and Valentino, Celebrity Scooby-Doo, Thundercats Roar, Marvel's Spider-Man. You see the fucking problem? Now, in honesty, I've only shown you the stuff I'm not looking forward to, because there are some legitimately interesting shows here. For Disney, there's Amphibia and The Owl House. Amphibia is already out and I think it's a good show, but The Owl House genuinely looks really interesting and I want it now. Nickelodeon have a Loud House spin-off and Glitch Techs. I'm watching a Loud House spin-off anyway because I'm a Loud House fan, but really I'm not that excited for it anymore after they made the first 10 episodes of season 4 a promotion for it. Yeah, thanks for taking it at the beginning of the season instead of having like 1 or 2 episodes, you bumbling buggers. Anyway, Glitch Techs looks pretty nice, although the intro is like taking LSD and then bashing cymbals against your fucking ears until they bleed for about 30 seconds, but the animation looks really cool, so I may give this a look. Cartoon Network, on the other hand, has Malmo, which is already out and is actually kind of good. DC Superhero Girls, which the art style reminds me of Looney Tunes, and that's it. This honestly looks kind of bad. And Infinity Train, which recently aired. And if I'm being perfectly honest, this is the only CN show I have given a shit about in a long ass fucking time. I love the pilot, I wished and wished for it to become an actual show, then the first teaser trailer dropped and I went absolutely insane, and now it's finally here. Yeah, how about that for a segue into a review? There aren't many words in my vocabulary to describe how much I liked Infinity Train. Now, I want you to just think about how completely devoid we are of more serious and story-driven cartoons right now. Now listen, I'm not a gothic vegan who will only watch shows that have dark moments and god-tier storytelling. I mean, Gravity Falls is one of my favourite cartoons of all time, and it's one of the funniest shows I've ever watched, with god-tier storytelling and dark moments besides the point. But sometimes we really do need a break from a lot of the episodic comedic shows that we have right now, as well as the shows that are part comedic and part mystery that play out episodically to begin with, before delving into its deeper story. Why can't we just have something that completely flips off the concept of experimentation because it knows what it wants to be before it fucking airs? Take notes, Rebecca! And has a clear goal in mind with a consistent story throughout every episode. I guess you could say Adventure Time did this later into its lifespan, but it did take the odd break every now and then. Also, Adventure Time actually needed some episodic episodes at points, because there was a point in time where if you missed one episode you would miss every detail there is to know about the next 5. Infinity Train goes into many subjects that many cartoons, not even adult shows, would dare to touch, all the while being incredibly creative and dark. The story, specifically for me, resonated with me deeply because I can actually relate to the main character Tulip's struggle and inner emotions, and a lot of the scenes in the show really hit hard. Every episode connects to the other in some way, as opposed to just banging rocks together until something creates a somewhat interesting story direction. Well, in Steven Universe's case, they literally banged rocks together and created a somewhat interesting story direction. Have you caught on to how I'm not a fan of Steven Universe anymore? Come on, it's not like I missed the times when the show is fucking coherent or anything. Oh no, an ARMS character wants to destroy the planet. Also, Steven has a neck now. Back onto Infinity Train, I thought it was excellent all throughout. I obviously preferred some episodes over others, but every single one was solid, and Tulip's character development is very well done, and the 2 side characters, well, technically 3, were really likable and entertaining. However, I had some issues with the overall pacing. Sometimes the pacing goes a bit too quick, and it can result in some episodes feeling a bit rushed to begin with, and then getting a more stable pace as it goes on. The issue stops being so annoying after the first 5 episodes, and I understand that CN, being the snarky they are, gave a 10 episode season only 11 minutes to work with for each episode, but it was still a bit distracting. Hey, at least I can say I thought it was really good and that I can look forward to the next season because it's already been renewed, so that's neat. Rocko's Modern Life. Alright, so in recent years, Nickelodeon have been bringing their old shows back from the graves with their cancellation because they realise there's actually a thriving adult audience who want to see their beloved shows come back. And since Nickelodeon tend to do their usual 9-to-5 job of standing around and doing fuck all while SpongeBob and Loud House print their money for them, they've seen how badly that can go when in the wrong hands. So they've naturally decided to just give the original creators their shows back and are like, haha, sorry for cancelling you, bro. I promise to respect you from now on. Now chop and make your show so I can sign this agreement with Netflix and not have any of your specials air on their debut channels, or also disrespect disrespecting the grave of a dead man, because fuck you. Now that was my overly complex way of saying, thank fuck Rocko is back in this day and age. I love Rocko's modern life. I'm not even a 90s kid, and I'm happy to say that after 20 years, Rocko works just as well as he did in the 90s as he does in the 2010s. It's the same old stuff for the first few minutes, with Rocko and friends immediately going back to satirizing modern life and society like they did in the 90s, but this time with stuff from the 2010s, like the frequent releases of iPhones, 3D movies, reboots. Wait a minute. Yeah, this special is incredibly meta, and I loved every minute of it. The main message of this special is that we can't stop change, that not everything will be the same forever, but also that sometimes change can be a good thing. And believe me, that is such a great message to give out in this modern world that ironically got mad at this special for its transgender storyline. No, this is not a spoiler because some dickhead decided to tell everyone about it a day before the special release. This special reveals that Ralph Bighead is actually transgender, and personally I was fine with this. It's good to see acceptance of this. But the people who got mad at this special because of it are honestly hilarious, because the show literally makes fun of these people at the end. People then blamed Netflix for shoehorning in SJW bullshit and ruined their show, even though Netflix had absolutely nothing to do with this special, and it was actually the creator's decision. Like, honestly, if you are one of these people, then please just stop. You're mad about a show called Rocko's Modern Life tackled modern day issues and made a message about change.
I don't want change! I don't want change! Everything has to stay the same!
The original show made an episode which had a metaphor for coming out, you batty bastards. Now, aside from that, the special was incredibly funny, meta, and had a really heartwarming ending. It's the same Rocko we've known, but in the 21st century, and it's great. I actually don't have many issues with this. It's just so incredibly witty and charming, and just as raunchy as it was back in the 90s. So yeah, it was really good. I liked it. Now let's get on to the main event.
It's main event time.
The universe has been saved! The universe has been made infinitely better by the mere existence of an Invader Zim movie. And in 2020, the president of everything ever to ever exist in the history of ever shall make a law that specifically states that any bad word of mouth against anything related to Invader Zim shall hereby allow people to legally stone that person to death with a boulder. Okay, let me just regain my composure. Fuck that! I am happier than I've ever been in my life. You guys probably don't know this about me, but I consider Invader Zim to be the single greatest thing to ever exist in the history of anything ever. I mean, sure, objectively Gravity Falls and a bunch of other stuff is better, but my objection to this is that once you watch Invader Zim, you can never go back. It's so amazingly insane that it's become a genuine masterpiece. I spelt genuine wrong in the script, I'm not sure I can handle this. But Nickelodeon, the rat bastards they are, cancelled it because it was too expensive. Because it's not like a multi-million-dollar company can fund something for more than a single season. Well, now look who's laughing, you corporate snakes. You couldn't keep funding Dan Show Me Your Toes Shiner without us noticing the hypocrisy. Enter the Florpus is sinful. It is fantastical. It made me feel something again in my cold, dead heart. It retains the same spirit and insanity that made Zim so great, and the same style of humor as well, with literally every joke working in some way. And the animation. Oh, that is my dick. Okay, I'll stop being creepy. Just give me. It's not the same art style as the original, but it works so well, along with being incredibly fluid and colourful and eye-popping. The pacing and the writing was pitch perfect from beginning to end. It adapts the first part of the comics for the first 20 minutes before doing something completely different, and it catches you off guard perfectly. The original voice cast came back, and they all sound nearly exactly the same as they did when the show first came out, and it's perfect. The ending is perfect. The movie itself is just perfect. Look, I won't spoil anything, okay? But the ending of this movie was so good! You may think I'm biased a tad bit, and you are absolutely correct, because how can you not be biased with Invader Zim? You see this? I can worship this. You can worship this. All existing religions are lies, when Invader Zim is what you should be. Oh god, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, okay. So, Invader Zim Enter the Florpus is amazing, and it can enter my Florpus. And you should go watch it if you haven't. It's like the perfect love letter to all Invader Zim fans, and yeah, you should go watch it. It's genuinely one of my favourite viewing experiences in a long time. I mean, sure, Avengers Endgame can claim that it ripped my heart out and then sewed it back in 5 different times, but Enter the Florpus made me feel happy, which is something not many things have managed to do in recent years. And that was this week's Media Meatloaf. Thank you for putting up with me having an orgasm about Invader Zim for over a minute. Now I just have to find a way to stop the church down my road from crusading to my house and castrate